In a society that has forgotten about love, it is not astonishing to see scientists and researchers, instead of being concerned with the question of love, focus on abuse instead. It's very similar to Western medicine that equally is focused only upon the pathological, instead of finding out what health is actually about. Where love itself has become the anathema of the day, how can we wonder that those who engage in it are associated with the devil? Where life has lost its wholeness, where love is schizophrenically split into acceptable behavior and unacceptable behavior, people tend to create fictitious concepts in a virtual reality of fake values. It seems that only poets and lovers are able to see through the thick layers of hypocrite life denial that is currently the invisible paradigm of the majority of humanity, at least in the part of the world that has incorporated postmodern international consumer culture as its new credo and lifestyle. Where erotic love is equated with abduction and abuse, there is only one step to end up in hysteria, individually and collectively. Western society has done that step, and thoroughly. It has ended up not only in hysteria but in public paranoia. Today, we should do a retrospection and ask how this was at all possible after Freud. And how it's possible that after the turn into the millennium we have ended up in the Middle Ages. Time wave zero may show us cyclic patterns in human evolution, and it indeed shows that the present times are most closely related to the early Middle Ages. But it hides the spiral growth that goes along with all evolution. We are again within that pattern, but at a higher level of it. This means that we have more chances now and more instruments to deal with the pattern effectively and perhaps dissolve it completely. What kind of pattern is that? Astrologically, it is the Pisces archetype as opposed to the Aquarius archetype. It is a pattern of energies that puts the collective, the group, and the majority's opinions and feelings higher than the individuals. It values the group before it values the individuals who compose the group. It considers standard opinions before it considers intelligent opinions. It fears the marginal and the original, and blesses uniformity and herd thinking. Its educational paradigm is one of mass indoctrination and mass alphabetization. It educates by disempowering the child, using threat and authoritarian and hierarchic group structures, and strong competition. It basically positions the human being as opposed to nature or as master over nature, and as a result is rather hostile toward the child's expressing their natural emotions, feelings and desires. This paradigm is the reigning educational paradigm of the great monotheistic religions, and it often serves for justifying ritual abuse and even the torture of children as a disciplinary measure and in the name of some religious authority, savior or leader. Now, what we face, especially in controversial matters of public discussion, is a resistance that operates in the masses' collective consciousness because of their fear to progress into the unknown, which is the Aquarius paradigm. The Aquarius age will definitely be one of more individuality, and more democracy and more choice at every level of life. The Aquarian energy, which is the energy of the planet Uranus, as opposed to the Neptunian energy that reigns Pisces, will help us confront rather than repress our hitherto unconscious desires and render them conscious so that we can deal with them on a more rational basis. We will then be able to see love as love and abuse as abuse, or love as encompassing erotic love, eros, and abuse as a form of psychological, physical, or sexual distortion that is created by repression and acted out in a violent manner. To see this will render us sensitive to the fact that non-violent and consenting forms of love are not abuse. Only a society that is highly confused about its own value system can come up with the kind of arbitrary assumptions that today pervade the entire public discussion about abuse, especially in the Anglo-Saxon world, with its long tradition of Puritan life denial, sexual repression, body and touch anxiety, and physical, sexual, domestic, and structural violence.